Hello again and welcome to a new edition of Dinner at Vincenzo's. This continues our summer series for 2012. I'm honored to have today the guest we would consider the mastermind of Dinner at Vincenzo's, Evan William Berwick.
Nice to be here, P-Man.
Nice to have you. You're a graduate of Seekonk High School.
Oh, it feels so good too.
Oh, I'm sorry, did I get that? How does it feel?
It's amazing. I mean, just knowing that I don't have to come in here every day to put up with people that I necessarily don't like, it's great.
Well, we try to keep Dinner at Vincenzo's a positive show.
No, and I love it too. And I miss a lot of people. Miss McGovern was really sentimental the other day when
she mentioned you actually in a staff meeting. She said that you were Facebook friends.
I heard the exact quote was that everyone can eat their hearts out because Evan Berwick friend requested me on Facebook.
Who wouldn't want to be your friend, Evan? You're a likable guy. I mean, you're sort of like a Charmin.
We're friends.
Squeeze the Charmin. I'm sorry?
We're friends on Facebook.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not. I use Facebook primarily, if we're on that subject. Facebook for me is primarily to communicate with Vincenzo and my relatives from Ravishkanina, who we love dearly and we miss them.
You need a new profile picture too.
Well,
you're in your BMW, and it's been that for like 2 years.
Well, I mean, as long as they are able to. I'm glad you creep on my profile.
Because it never changes.
Well, I don't like get on there and say I had a turkey sandwich this afternoon and it upset my stomach.
That's what Twitter's for. That's not what Facebook is for.
I go on there so that my cousins in that small town of Ravishkanina can actually see my family.
Yeah.
And we communicate that way. I have wonderful relatives and friends there, and someday I plan on actually living there. I know Mr. Rubin is going off this year and going to Costa Rica to follow his dream.
So sad, though.
Monkey and Croc, I believe it's called. Well, someday my dream is to go and live on that mountain with my relatives. And
work in the bakery?
I don't think they'll allow me to actually make the bread, but I could help deliver it.
I wouldn't.
Well, I'll help deliver it. I mean, and I love being there. I mean, I can make change. I don't know if you can, but I can actually make change. And,
yeah, I can. I can.
So let's get back to you now. You really were, for those of you who aren't familiar with Evan, he really was the mastermind behind Dinner at Vincenzo's. What happened was during an assignment that I had at the U.S. History Honors 2 class, we did an immigration assignment. And as I was showing the class my own family and my own experience, Evan came to me and said, we want to produce a show that actually profiles students here at the Seekonk High School and gives them an opportunity and a medium to let the community know what we're doing. And we want to call it Dinner at Vincenzo's. So really, I have a lot to thank you for with all the success that I've had personally from this show.
Oh, you're welcome. And I know we kept you on the air. They kept trying to pull the plug on STV News, and we kept you on there for that one last final show until you couldn't get a guest and you had to go on the road.
Yeah, that was
difficult. And then we got from administration.
But now, the guests are just piling up.
Yeah.
They can't wait. In fact, Christina from Cavallari, Italy, wants to be a guest.
I saw that.
Christina, we're going to get you on as soon as possible, and we miss you also. Did you see that? She wants to be on?
I did. I saw that.
So we can Skype it. We can get her on, and we can have Vincenzo baking the bread, and he can be Skyped on there too.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah. So
and I think that in 2012, the school's network is finally at the point where we might be able to do video streaming.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means at all, but that sounded good, and I'm going to agree with it, certainly.
All right.
You're a recent graduate of 2012.
Yep.
And what did you do when you were here at Seekonk High School?
When I was here at Seekonk High School, I did a lot of walking in the halls, and that was supplemented by my time in the television studio. And, I had Mr. Moran 3 times a day, and it was fun. We had our fun. I had a video yearbook and STV News, and I did a performance-based with Mr. Moran. It was a good time. And
so you had a lot of fun with Mr. Moran, it appears.
Yeah, we were buddies, you know.
What kind of guy is he? Is he a nice guy?
He's an Irish guy.
He's an Irish guy?
Yeah, he's a nice guy. I like Mr. Moran.
He's a wonderful man, and it's because of his supervision that this show, along with many others, are our producer. We want to go out there and say thank you, Mr. Moran, even though there's very little positive words that come out of your mouth about this show or others. We will say positive things and say, Mr. Moran, you are an asset to this organization. Notice I finished the words so that. Now and remember now, this is a family show, and we don't want to get into because you're like creeping toward me a little bit. And I'm a little concerned, right? You're very politically in tuned, and I don't want to. One of the things I learned very early on is to keep friends. You don't talk about politics, and so I don't want to get into your own personal politics. But tell me why politics actually intrigues you, and something you may not know about me. My first cousin on my mom's side is once worked for the Mondale campaign.
Okay, yeah.
And he's a professor up in Maine, and he is heavily into politics even to this day. And so there are people from think tank type of political groups in my family, but I see you have the same passion as he does. So tell me about it.
Well, I find politics important because a lot of young people, especially today, not as much as it used to be, it's worse now, they don't see the importance in politics, and they just go and live their life and, YOLO, but that's stupid.
What does that mean, YOLO?
It means you only live once, and it's basically a term that the kids use nowadays.
From what language is that from, YOLO?
It's just an abbreviation.
Okay, this is something that you guys have come up with?
Yeah, it's
Shibby means somebody that's cool in the school.
Yeah, it's just
YOLO would be
an abbreviation for you only live once, which is all the young kids' excuse to go and do stupid stuff and not care. And I find it important to care, especially with politics, because the future of our country is very turbulently, it's leaning on the edge of a cliff right now. And all we need is a little gust of wind and goodbye. We're going to fall down.
I think, and I don't want to talk for your generation, I was talking to my brother-in-law this weekend. I had a celebratory age party, and he was mentioning that in his view, the youth sort of like live for today, like this YOLO thing, and they don't have any consideration for tomorrow. And he was concerned, and we had this conversation that they're not preparing themselves. So what type of advice would you give young people that may not have your sensitivity to these issues, a plan of success going forward for their life?
Well, I mean, you have to think about what's going to happen tomorrow. You have to invest for the future, so to speak. You just can't think of, oh, well, I'm not going to say what they do, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm just going to do this today, and, I don't care about, what happens next week. That's stupid. You need to plan for the future. You need to say, all right, well, yeah, I can go out and have a little bit of fun. Well, let's not take it overboard and potentially kill myself. I mean, you know what these kids do. It's ridiculous.
Well, I think that oftentimes young people believe that they're, it's like a cartoon character, that, fearlessness and so forth. And I think that the seriousness of action sometimes occurs after the fact. So I think you're really focused in the correct way. And I think you have to allow life to run its course, but with some sensitivity toward the future.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. And I think that an older person can say all the things, but until you actually live and walk the steps, you don't really almost get it at the time. So.
Oh, yeah. No, I know where you're coming from. I understand.
So politics is, you mentioned about the world. There's some political turmoil in many parts of Europe now, and even here in America. Democracies around the world are probably the poorest countries right now, and that's scary. And we've talked about some of the things that could happen down the road. But I think that this is a great country. And we have some great leaders, and I think that in time, historically, we've learned that things are all what?
Cyclical.
And eventually things will come out. Which gets me to some of your hobbies. What is a good? I understand you're a car fanatic.
Yeah, I love cars. Most people wouldn't expect that from me because all the computer stuff and video stuff, but I love cars. I I drive a 1969 Ford LTD with a 390 with a 2-barrel.
Look very handsome in that, by the way.
Thank you. I got the fuzzy dice hanging from the mirror, you know.
Because I drove a 1968 Ford Torino when I was your age. 289. It was the engine was a fantastic. But so I'm familiar with muscle cars.
Okay, yeah. This is more of a luxury car. You know, you roll the windows up, it's actually quiet till you put your foot down, and then you hear that big V8 roar. It's about 6.4 liters, so I pay for it at the
What's
pump.
your gas mileage?
Well, I've gotten anywhere between 9.4 and about 12, up to 13 miles per gallon. That's with some highway driving, probably about 1/3 highway driving. I get about 12 miles a gallon, and that's on 93 octane.
Okay, and I understand you had a major event recently for
Yes.
Seekonk High School. You went to the prom.
I did.
How was it actually going to the dance for the first time?
It was great. I actually never been to any school dance before, and actually I went with a date. Wonderful little girl. She's adorable, and it was really fun. I'm glad I went. You know, and it was a big thing here. It made the school news that I went to prom with a girl.
Well, she's a wonderful young lady, and it comes from a great family.
Love the family.
But why was it that you never had gone previously? You were involved in building computers or breaking down engines?
I was always a little shy, and that was the part of me that I never shed the shyness of going to events like that. And I always thought, you know, I'll look stupid or something like that. So I just distanced myself from it. And Mr. Moran wouldn't let me not go to prom my senior year. He tried to find me a date for a little bit, and I didn't like any of his choices. So I went and...
You didn't like any of Mr. Moran's
choices?
Yeah,
he tried to find me dates to prom.
Okay. Well, I don't
like Mrs. Moran either.
He could probably stop by finding him a date, and then maybe if he's successful.
I was good for a while, but
yeah. No, that's nice dates. That's wonderful. Now, and so you like going on dates then? It's a good nice thing. Because I'm a single guy.
Yeah.
I'm a single guy, and it's hard
Let's go
for...
on a double date sometime.
With who? With Mr. Moran or you?
What?
What did you say?
You and me. We'll go out on a double date sometime. Find a girl.
Well, I will...
Come on.
I eventually...
You can do it.
Well, you know what? If I find a nice lady, I'll call you, or we can have coffee at some place down in Providence.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll probably see Mr. Girth, you know, talking about some foreign policy that he might be working on.
I might be stealing another chili dog. You never know.
That's right. That's right. Any, you know, I kind of look over at you. In the 1990s, the Saturday Night Live had this skit. They had like, "It's Just Pat," and I kind of thought maybe that was, you know, that was.
I thought it was funny for the longest time until you finally showed our psychology class.
Yeah.
Who Pat is.
Yeah. That was at the end of class.
Yeah, the end of the year. We weren't doing anything at that point.
All right. That's not.
Well, no. It's because we couldn't do anything. We were getting ready for exams, and we were all exempt.
Let's talk about summer jobs, because how about a job? That'd be nice. You're going to take a year off from school.
Yeah, I need a job. Right now, I'm working for myself, and
all right, so I want you to look in the camera.
minimally.
I want you to look in that camera number 2, and I want you to tell us what you're qualified for and what type of job you're looking for. Right there.
Well, I mean, I'm willing to do just about anything. I can lift boxes, obviously, you know, the 50-pound, you know, thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not weak. I look weak, but I'm not. I actually can lift 50 pounds fairly easily. I can count. I can make change. I'm actually, you know, I'm smart when it comes to that. I have common sense, which most kids my age lack nowadays. I'm pretty qualified. I got plenty of experience video editing. If anyone wants to hire me for a job in television or radio, I'm plenty qualified for that.
So
I got over 1,000 hours here, easy.
So what I got from it is that you're actually a power lifter. You can and that you're qualified to be a male escort for a date or something. I mean, you know, you're
sure.
Yeah, okay. Because now that you've gotten a couple of dates, you feel good about it, and that's good. Well, Evan, I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you for all of the extra time, effort, and planning he has put in. You know, we joke and kid, but without Evan producing this show originally, we wouldn't have a show. And I know that it's in good hands going forward with new producers and a new class at 2013. But we would be remiss to not say thank you, and also to let the audience know that Evan worked tirelessly here at Seekonk High School on many of the events and community activities that went on, and we owe a debt of gratitude to you and your service.
Thank you very much.
It's an honor to be your friend now that you've graduated from Seekonk High School. I hope that we were able to teach you things that you can carry on in your life, and we wish you much success.
Well, thank you very much. It's been an
Evan
honor to have you as a teacher for 2 years, too. It was
you.
great.
Thank
I really did learn a lot.
Well, you want to tell them what you learned?
Well, let's see. I took psychology. I learned about the brain, things I never knew.
Okay.
U.S. history, too. I learned that you and John Lucan are both speed readers
Right.
at all the multiple choice questions.
Thank you.
No, I really did learn a lot. We covered a lot of stuff in that class. And I feel like the way that you taught it, it made it a little bit easier to learn for a lot of people. Much more than some other teachers.
Well,
I'm just saying in general, you have a different teaching style, and I feel like you connect with the kids better, and you do a better job, I feel, personally.
Okay, well.
It's your use of psychology in the teaching atmosphere. It works.
Yeah, the thing about teaching is everyone has individual teaching styles. We have some great teachers here at Seekonk High School. One of the things that I don't think the community knows enough about is that the staff here is just wonderfully committed to the students and the success and modeling for those students.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look at Miss Nelson. I leave every day, and I don't leave the school until 4:30, 5 o'clock, or I didn't, and her car was always out there. Yours too, quite often.
Was she awake? Or?
I don't know. You might have been sleeping up there.
Well, Evan, we want to thank you for really all the things that you've done here, and you're a fine young man, and it's a pleasure to be your friend on Facebook. And go out there and reach out to Vincenzo and become his friend and all of our cousins out there.
On Facebook.
Very good. Well, until next time, we'll see you again at dinner at Vincenzo's.
Chindan, right?
Yeah, there's nothing. The budget's gone down.
Chindan.
We have nothing. They told us to get that off the table.
There you go.
Empty water bottle.